Okay, folks, so now that we've got our plugin set up, we're going to start making our training sets. So here I've got it, I've got our virtual raster here. Okay, so let's just try something easy here. Let's just start with water. So to do that, we're going to make training sets. Okay, so first we need to create a new file that our training input data are going to go into. So I'm just going to call this training set 2. I've got a lot of those files in there. Don't you worry about that. And so first, I'm going to get an ROI here, region of interest, and I'm just going to highlight the water here to get the spectral signature of the water. Macro class 1, we're going to call it water. Okay, let's add that in there. And let's turn it blue, why not? Okay, so now we're going to test it to see how it's working. Okay, so not surprisingly, it doesn't work at all. That's because we only have one class in there right now, or sorry, one spectral signature in there right now. So let's go ahead and let's add something else. So over here, there's sort of grassy open area. So let's add, let's see here, let's add a second macro class. So macro class number 2 is going to be, let's call it grass. And let's get an ROI here, the grass. Okay, let's go ahead and add that in. So now we've got 2 spectral signatures. We've got water and grass. So let's go ahead and take a look again. Okay, so the water's starting to show up as opposed to the not water. So again, we've got to add some more classes here. So it looks like we've got urban areas. So let's focus on these buildings here. So I'm going to use this ROI tool. Let me show you this here. It fills in. It fills in according to some spectral distance. Okay. Let's see, is that doing a pretty good job? It looks like 0.01's too small. Let's bring it all the way up to 1. So that's saying that things that you can increase variability and still call it all one class. Let's see what that looks like now. So that's still pretty constrained. Let's bump it up to 100. See what we're dealing with here. Again, still pretty constrained. Maybe let's look at 300. Okay, I think that's starting to look better. Okay, so let's add that. So this is going to be class number 3, which we'll call building. And let's change that color to yellow. And let's add a few more building classes because it looks, or sorry, a few more building ROIs because it looks like there's quite a variety in there. Let's move over here. Let's add that. Let's move over here. Add that. Let's move over here. We'll add that. Okay. Let's look at our macro class. So we've got water. Oops, I should be changing the colors here. Water, grass, and buildings. Okay. All right. Now let's see how we're doing again. Let's take a look. Okay, so now we've got buildings showing up. That's good. Looks like our water is a little, it's not quite, well, I think our water class could be expanded a little bit. So that means let's pick up a few other water bodies because we only, remember we started with just one. So, okay, so that's going to be class 1, right? So let's make another ROI here. This is also water. Okay, let's add that. And let's add another ROI here. That's also water. And right here. Okay, so here, and again, the macro class list, we still only have 3. Okay, so again, let's see how we're doing. Yeah, we're still, so we're picking up more water, I think, which is good. But looks like we're misclassifying a lot of stuff as water that's not. I think that's those residential areas. So let's try to pick up one of those. So these residential areas, they're highly variable. Let's see if we can kind of capture some of that. So we're going to go for this is going to be, so what do we have for macro classes? 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4. Macro class 4, which is going to be, we'll call it residential. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see what we can pick up with okay, I think that's pretty good actually with the autofill tool. So let's go ahead and add that. And with the autofill tool again, let's add that. So now Okay, let's change the color of residential to magenta. Okay, now let's take a look at what we've got. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here? So it's mainly residential. We got some water. So let's the businesses, right, are getting picked up there and building. And then it looks like we still got some grass in there, which is the parks. So that's good. So you can see how we start to build a set of classes that represents our area. So I don't know what we should do with the mountains here, because as you can see, there's a lot of variability. Let's just try. Let's add another class. Let's call it forest. We'll call it pine forest. Let's just see what we pick up with this tool. That's pretty good. So we can call that pine forest. Let's pick up another piece up here. Yeah, this is a little darker, but okay. I picked it up okay. Okay, so now let's give this a preview. Let's see what we got. So we're picking up that pine forest now. That's calling all this open area residential. Which, isn't the greatest. This is residential in here, so that's good. So we might want to pick up a few more grass classes. Because we only did one of those. So let's see here. Grass. Let's pick this up as grass over here. So I think it is picking up the grass in the residential areas. Okay. Let's pick this up as grass over here. And let's pick this up as grass. Let's pick that up as grass over here. Okay. Let's see if that's helped us out at all. Yeah, it's starting to help us out. So, and I won't make this too long of a video, but I think you folks can kind of see the process here of, so now, okay. So this is what we've got so far. So since I was trying to work on the grass outside of the city, now we have some classes that don't match so good inside the city. So we've got that magenta, which is residential, which is good. And the yellow, which is buildings. And the pine forest, it's really starting to pick up the golf courses Yeah, it's picking up the golf courses. And I believe the grass is actually picking up the grass in people's yards. So that's not bad. And then the residential is more like residential streets and the roofs of the houses. So I do think you're seeing a mixture of yards and houses there, which is actually kind of interesting. So anyway, but you can see how you can start to hone in. You could add more classes, you know, if you find bare rock or, yeah, bare rock or, you know, deciduous forest or, you know, so if you found other classes, you know, if you wanted to try to get the roads segregated from the buildings, you could make some training sets for that. So this is the basic process. Again, I don't expect you folks to be experts, but I wanted to start to show you how you make these spectral training sets to start doing a land cover classification. So we'll actually do the land cover classification in the next video.